Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Thanks for watching. As always on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates from coast to coast. A busy hour coming up. We'll get into a very fun hoops card in 15 minutes. Warren Sharp on the program, bottom of the hour. Pauly, we're an hour deep into this program. We have not talked about the MVP yet. Did you have a problem with the voting and who got it yesterday?
No, I thought it had to be Walker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's bring on, we thought it'd be a great time to bring on longtime friend of the show and a guy who actually did kick, very high level, Georgia Bulldogs in the league as well, now part of the Punt and Pass podcast and 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. Drew Butler joins us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Drew, good afternoon. Thanks for the time. How are you?
Yeah, great, guys. Appreciate the invite. Glad to be here. It's a little bittersweet, obviously, day after the Super Bowl. We got a long, long winter until football's back, but congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. And Mike McDonald, guys, was a classmate of mine at Georgia. He was a GA for Coach Richt on the Georgia football team staff when I was there. So Really happy for Mike Mack. Just incredible in his second season as a head coach.
Oh, my God. Was he like 20?
Yeah, it's awesome. I was actually reposting some clips last night. I did an interview with him 2 years ago before he got the Seattle head coaching job. And guys, he was a volunteer coach at the local high school in Athens to fulfill community service duties for his fraternity. That is how he got into coaching. And then he even says, he's like, I was stalking Todd Grantham, who is Georgia's defensive coordinator, just begging, hey, is there any way I could help out with the football team? And he worked for free for a year as a student assistant. He volunteered his time and then worked his way into a GA spot at Georgia.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let me read the tweet that you sent out after the voting was in for the radio audience here. At Drew Butler on X, shame on the Super Bowl MVP voters, shame. Jason Myers was the only player on both teams to score a point entering the fourth quarter. Super Bowl record for field goals made, outscored the Patriots himself, not even a mention of his performance. Kenneth played well, though. Quotations, or I actually checked that parentheses, 0 points. Do you think Myers was robbed yesterday?
You know, I think if not then, with Jason Myers' performance in that game yesterday, that certainly warrants a conversation around worthiness of being the MVP. If not then probably never will happen, guys. So, you know, I just look at it on the whole from the performance that he had. And it's funny to me because that tweet got a lot of reaction, way more than I was expecting. Everybody just seemingly moves the goalpost when you talk about why a kicker deserves to be MVP. One of the most common arguments is, well, his longest was 41 yards. I mean, everybody could do that. That's like 90% conversion rate in the NFL. He just did his job. I'm like, but hold on a second. That game with those two defenses was a chess match. You absolutely knew special teams was going to be a vital part in deciding the outcome of that game. And when the Seahawks are getting down there deep in the territory and they're not able to convert on fourth downs, they're not able to get into the end zone, you have to take the points. And I think Mike McDonald knew that, leaning on his defense. And here's the real end game in a situation like that. If Jason Myers does miss that 41-yard field goal, that is a turnover. It is a huge momentum swing. The Patriots could have hypothetically scored in just a couple of plays later, and the entire game changes. Yes, he did his job. He also set records. He scored 17 points on his own. And of course, Kenneth Walker and the Seahawks offense got them in position to try the field goals, but he was perfect. He scored 17 points. I thought yesterday, specifically with how that game played out, Jason Myers certainly was worthy of being the Super Bowl MVP. And it is a shame that he was rarely mentioned, if ever, on the broadcast. It's funny, Kurt Warner, Westwood One, and of course, Super Bowl champion himself, he hit me back up on Twitter and said, hey, I just want to let you know we talked about him on the Westwood One broadcast. So at least he got some shine in that regard.
Well, here's the deal, and I forget about this every single year. Evidently, the fan vote is actually part of the criteria for the Super Bowl MVP, so you're allowed to vote during the game. We're talking now third quarter, late in the game. He was not even listed on the NFL's website for fans to vote for. He's the only guy who had scored in the game. Why are kickers even eligible to win the award then?
Yeah, and look, I mean, I had a ticket. I had him pre-flop 100-1, put $10 on it, thought, hey, I think this could get into a shootout. I actually took him to make a 55-plus yard field goal as well. I thought in that stadium, a place Jason Myers is really familiar with, being in the NFC West. He's had a great season. He set the NFL record for points in a season. I thought that was a good play as well. Over 3.5 field goals. Guys, I did not see 15 punts coming in that game, but the way it played out with the Seahawks leaning on their defense, taking points when they knew they were going to have the opportunity to. And, Mike Vrabel on the other side, he didn't necessarily go for it on fourth down as much as he had in the postseason. Jason Myers, 17 points, guys, 5 for 5 on his field goal attempts. That's a Super Bowl record. I 100% do believe, and this is putting my special teams bias aside, I 100% believe that he is just as worthy of an MVP winner in that game as Kenneth Walker was, or anybody on Seattle's defense, to be quite frank.
Yeah. He was never on stage after the game was over with. Nowhere to be found.
It's crazy.
Like, you can't even, like, not even part of the. So, also, let me ask you this, as again, somebody who kicked, and Drew Butler's our guest here, now Punt and Pass podcast, 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. Well, first of all, if he misses all 5 field goals, Seahawks might lose the game outright. Think about that for a second. But also, like, as a guy who's kicking field goals specifically here in this game, and you're realizing, okay, we are incapable of scoring a touchdown right now. If I don't make these kicks and our defense suddenly allows a deep one, or there's a PI or whatever, we might be losing the game. So I don't know. You tell us, is the pressure mounting like every time that he's out there, despite them, quote, being chip shots?
Absolutely. They're just such high leverage moments in the game, big swings of momentum, and it is the Super Bowl. So, of course, the intensity's ratcheted up and you feel the added pressure. I think it's really good to kind of put this into perspective to all the VSiN listeners out there, because obviously everybody's watching these games through the lens of sports betting. Extra points, right? 33-yard field goals. Just think, if you've got a wager on a game and a kicker misses an extra point, you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, here we go. I mean, how could the kicker miss it? This is absolutely going to have a determining factor in the spread or the outcome of the game. He went out there, made 5 field goals, made both of his extra points as well. There are no gimmies. Jason Myers just is that good, and he was given the opportunity to prove that he is the best at what he does yesterday in the biggest game, and he was the determining factor for why the Seahawks won Super Bowl 60.
Yeah. Here's also, you mentioned this earlier, people are moving the goalposts. A lot of the reaction that I saw is, well, actually, Mitch, because I said if it's not going to happen in this game, then it's never going to happen. They're like, well, hold on, you're wrong, because it could be, for example, like a 15-14 game, and all 15 points come from a kicker. They're all from 50 yards, and he hits the winner at the gun. Like, okay, is that how a Super Bowl is ever going to play out as long as we're alive? It's very unlikely. And I think the comeback would be, I still don't think, after what we saw last night, Drew, that the kicker's going to get it, because they probably look at, oh my God, the quarterback with 90 seconds left got him in position to score and make the last field goal to win the game. And they won't get, regardless, I'm never betting the kicker ever again to win the award.
No, I think you bring up a great point. And to the people that say he could have been 5 for 5, all field goals, 50 plus, we'll take the winning lottery numbers as well. So let us know when you have those in terms of that script right there. But that is 100% the narrative right now, continuing to move the goalpost to say why a kicker shouldn't win MVP. If you just come out and tell me I don't think a kicker should ever win the MVP, that's fine. Sure. We'll agree to disagree. But I feel like everybody is sitting there saying, well, Kenneth Walker, he's the reason, 160 plus total purpose yards. I'm like, okay, well then is it because his offensive line played really well? Like, do you want to move the goalpost? We could do this all day with anybody on the field. We can shift the narrative and move the goalpost as to who gets credit for what success is had on the field. But in 1.2 seconds, which is snap to kick in the NFL, Jason Myers was perfect last night in Super Bowl 60, 17 total points. If not then, I totally agree with you, Mitch. It'll probably never happen.
Great stuff. Pauly and I were talking in the first hour, looking ahead to next year's Super Bowl, possibly plunking down a wager on a team to take it. It's a year out, so are we going to do it yet? Maybe not, but we did bring up the Atlanta Falcons, a team that you cover all the time. What do you make now of, is Penix going to be the guy? And did you love the hire of Stefanski?
Love the Stefanski hire. I really did. I think he's a great fit here in Atlanta. Even more so, I'm a big fan of getting Matt Ryan back in the building as the president of football. Of course, last week it was made official that Ian Cunningham is the new GM. But the biggest question mark around the Falcons right now, guys, is who's going to be the quarterback in week 1. Michael Penix coming off that ACL injury. Obviously, no need to rush him back. And then during Super Bowl week, the reports are out there that Kirk Cousins most likely going to be released. However, I think there is a real scenario, after Kirk and his team kind of test the market, have some conversations, I'm looking at a team like Miami or I'm looking at a team like Arizona. What kind of money would they throw at Kirk Cousins? I think with his familiarity with Kevin Stefanski, going back to their days in Minnesota, there is a conversation to be had depending on what that dollar amount is. Kirk, would you come back for a year? Could you be our starting quarterback for the first maybe 8 to 10 weeks of the season? He knows the system. He likes Atlanta. He had a great finish to the 2025 season. He's at the point of his career, guys, where I think he's going to sit down with his family and be like, do you want to mess with Happy, right? We can go chase the money, go to a team with a new head coach, not have any idea of what the future holds. I'm on the back nine of my career. So I think watch out for potentially that restructured contract for them to come back to the table and figure something out that could work for both parties to bring back Kirk Cousins.
Oh, man, that was terrific stuff. Follow him on X. He's at Drew Butler. Again, Punt and Pass Podcast, 92.9 The Game at Atlanta. Joined us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Thanks, Drew, and I appreciate you sticking up for your brethren there as a former kicker in the league. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great week.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, sir.
Back at you. I will tell you later on, again, I had Myers 250-1 to win the MVP. I had Kenneth Walker 15-1 after the Charbonnet injury. I will tell you who I think should have been the MVP a little bit later on in the show. Did they get it right? Am I pissed off that it was Myers?
For him not to be on the ballot list, it's crazy.
It's just.
But it's like you said earlier, we're going back to the Butker game. It's 250 for a reason.
It is.
It's hard to hit. And then you wonder if Walker doesn't go off, would they gone the defensive route?
It's a very strong night tonight in hoops. We'll discuss some of the marquee games next.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Our thanks to Drew Butler joining the program. Kicked in the league, Georgia Bulldogs as well. I don't know. That was a fun conversation to hear from his perspective on a guy who played the position, about Myers, how should have been in the conversation, never even mentioned, not up on the stage, not even on the website late in the game for fans to vote for. Kickers are people too. What was your favorite commercial? I got to tell you, they're not even worth watching anymore.
What's happened?
I think
you spent all that money. You better hit one out of the park.
Let's ask the audience here. How long has it been since commercials have been good?
Right. Where I can't wait to see
yes.
the creativity. Now, you're always going to get, and I know it's changed a little bit since COVID and streaming, but you're always going to get a couple of trailers to show off the big blockbuster or a big movie.
Okay.
So you're always looking forward to that. Adventures of Cliff Booth looks interesting with the Brad Pitt character from the Tarantino movie. But
that's the follow-up to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's the bodyguard for DiCaprio's character?
Yes.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time.
Well, Pitt was awesome in that movie.
Goodwill Duncan, I thought, was the best one.
I would agree with that.
Using Seinfeld and Cheers and Sam dancing. Mick Ultra with Kurt Russell was good.
What I told you during the break, we need more Kurt Russell.
Yep.
As soon as that commercial came on, I'm like, God, this guy needs to make more movies.
Good.
He's awesome.
Good. The Jurassic Park with the Infinity. Hey, just reboot. We need this internet. Everything would have been fine. The park wouldn't have shut down and gone haywire. That was well done. Pringles Man was good.
That's my second favorite one of the entire day. Might have been the first with Sabrina Carpenter.
Good. I agree.
That's worth going back and watching, in my opinion.
Good. The AI one out of the gates wasn't bad.
Okay.
Then Anheuser-Busch with the eagle and the horse, not bad.
I think I got to tell you, I missed probably 70% of them.
But the Jurassic Park was very good.
Okay.
And we saw this guy right off the bat. And I maybe have a hot take here. Is Ben Stiller funny? Is Ben Stiller a good actor? I feel like he's been playing the same character for 20 years, too.
Well, he
was great in Permanent, I think it's called Permanent Midnight, but it's heroin addict. But it's like going back to, I don't think Ben Stiller's funny.
Okay. Well,
he's great in Tropic Thunder.
Well, I mean, the number one movie that he's ever been in is There's Something About Mary, hands down.
Right, good in that.
I had to go. The theater was packed opening weekend. It was the laughter was so uproarious that I missed half the movie. I had to go back the next night. Now that's a great environment for a movie.
Oh, what a testament to Bobby Farrelly.
No kidding.
What a compliment.
It was unreal. I'm like,
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off, but I missed half of it. Oh, so good. I got to tell, I think Dodgeball's overrated.
Yeah.
I did not think it was that funny.
What's the Zoolander?
Yeah, nah.
Silly.
Nah. Come on.
I don't get it.
No.
But we saw him right off the bat, and it's just, it's the same thing with Ben Stiller.
Did you see anything crazy with the betting on commercials? You were able to bet on who was going to spend money on an ad on Kalshi and Pauly Market.
Right. Well, the honest thing's hilarious. Hey, maybe I'll go to the Bucks and say, want to be traded. Oh, I'm not going to be traded, and all this movement on Kalshi. Now I'm an investor in Kalshi. What is that?
The timing is just too incredible for that.
I know, because the markets were we're going bananas the last 10 days.
I know.
Oh, I'm just going to stay put then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it turns out, hey guys, I'm on the team now. I'm an investor in Kalshi. I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, how many people had that information?
Oh, wow.
The whole time.
It's a good one.
Yep.
But I didn't see much in terms of on the mentions with the announcers either. That's really hard to keep track of.
Oh, it's
You're
too
focused
much.
on the game,
Yeah,
the
it's too
in-play.
much.
I don't know what every word Tirico and Collinsworth are saying.
You have to have a separate person tracking all of that, right?
Yeah.
The commercials popping up, the first song of the halftime show, the words that are coming out of the broadcasters' mouths, all of that stuff. What did you think of the halftime show? Did you like it?
No, not really. Again, you have odds that are up for next year's Super Bowl in L.A., and Miley Cyrus is the favorite.
Yeah, it's always going to be.
It's like when we talked I wanted to get into it a little bit with Duff from Guns N' Roses, but I'm glad they at least did the Ozzy Osbourne tribute on the Grammys.
Right.
How we have just shifted and just completely got off rock and roll.
No, it's never going to be anything but like, what is it called? Pop, AC, whatever. It's never going to be.
Trying to hit that young
top 40.
demographic.
It's never going to be.
Yeah.
That's it. And,
are we going to see? No, 0 for 2 with Metallica. And I don't think that's done.
Happen.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see even like a legend, a great, he had that run where it was the Who, it was the Rolling Stones, it was Prince, it was Tom Petty, and forget about it now. That's it. You look at the Bieber, Miley Cyrus, and it's all that type of music now for who's going to perform moving forward in Super Bowl halftime.
Did you not like Bad Bunny because you just don't like him in general, or you thought he was a bad pick for the Super Bowl?
I don't like his music, and I just didn't. I thought they could have gone a different direction.
I'm watching that show.
I thought the choreography was incredible. The 10 days rehearsal, everything they did, the people, the trees are actually people dressed up, all that. That was good, but I didn't care for it.
I'm watching that show last night. I'm thinking and this is exactly what my wife said as well. It's like, look at how many beautiful people are on the football field at the same time performing. They are dancing like their asses off at a level that we could never comprehend. It's like upbeat, energetic. They're having a great time. I'm like, I don't felt pretty good to me.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about the performer.
No,
nothing.
I'm also anti-lip syncing. I just can't stand it. I mean, I don't care how much you're moving and dancing, whatever, but the lip syncing, and you even, of all things, I don't even know what the analogy is, but you see it every year at the Grammys. You cannot lip sync at the Grammys. When you're showing your performance and you're performing live and you're coming out there and you're doing something that's already pre-taped. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
When my wife comments about how hot the women are dancing,
there's some.
You know that they hit something out of the park there.
A lot of talent there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Tonight's basketball card up next. Can you believe this? Bill Self is 38-0 Monday nights at home in his career. He's never lost. I mean, I knew that they were good as a dog. They're 4-1 straight up as a home dog.
Yeah.
They lost to UConn. Home dogs to Iowa State in mid-January. They killed them. Games in those 5 spots are 4-1 to the under. Now they're catching 2.5 against the number 1 team in the country, undefeated Arizona. Oh, this is a great game tonight.
I think you have to go Kansas based on the fact that he's never lost on Big Monday, and we just saw this play out last week when they were dogs at home. But
my concern would be Peterson. How long is he going to play?
I know, yeah. But this is the stretch now for Arizona. This starts the stretch. Kansas, top 10 team. Texas Tech, top 15 team. BYU, top 25 team. At Houston, top 5 team. Then Kansas at home and Iowa State at home. So 6 of their next 7 games are against top 22 teams. And Kansas, 2 of them top 10. Tech top 15. Houston top 5. Iowa State top 5. You never see
it's incredible.
Yeah. So how many losses do they take here? But imagine if they get out of this like 5-1 or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to bet Kansas tonight, but I mean, the second that I do that, all of a sudden, here come the cramps again from Peterson, and I'm like, okay, great. Now I have 2.5 in pocket, and they have the number 1 team in the country who hasn't lost yet. I'm probably going to bet NC State plus a point set against Louisville. What do you have on the Pistons Hornets? 9-game winning streak, and they're home dogs.
And the Pistons were awesome blowing out the Knicks.
Yeah.
Though you thought they'd respond after what happened against Washington. So this is their longest winning streak since 2000. Only 2 guys on the team were alive when that happened. Their offensive rating with this group we've talked about, their starting 5, this new lineup, 139 points per 100 possessions. The defensive rating, 109. And they're plus 30 per 100 possessions. Ridiculous numbers. And forget about playing. You know, Brian Windhorst made a good point today. They may only have to win 9 more games to get in the play-in because the teams behind them are tanking and are so bad.
Yep.
But now you're thinking, hey, this long winning streak, they're beating good teams, this unbelievable, sensational lineup now that they're rolling out there and the success they're having. How high can they get? Can they get to the 6? Can they get to the 7?
Yeah, there's no Kobe White.
I gotta take Charlotte the way they're playing.
No Kobe White tonight. Ron Holland's also out for Detroit. Duran is probable. And as you said, but this is the 9-game stretch. Number 1 offensive rating, number 5 defensive rating, number 2 net rating behind Cleveland the last 9 games. The Pistons are 4th in net rating, plus 11 last 9, 6-3 straight up in those spots. This is a great litmus test tonight for Charlotte.
It is. So looking at all these teams, though, too, and our big takeaway from trade deadline was how many bad teams there are in the tanking. There's like 9 teams with, shall we say, no incentive to win. So watch this from an in-play standpoint. You can do money line parlays on the Kings, 12 wins, no incentive to win. Pacers, 13 wins. Keep their pick if it lands top 4. Nets, no incentive to win. They want to lose, 13. Wizards don't want to win, 14 wins, tanking. Jazz, keep their pick, has to be top 8. They pulled starters and blew a 17-point lead. Dallas, no pick, 27 through 30. Years 2027 to 2030. Memphis, tanking. Bucks don't want to win. Bulls, fire sale. There you go. Night in, night out, and a lot of them are in action tonight. We're not even at the All-Star break.
I know. It's going to be a long 2 months for some of these teams.
Oh, look, yeah. And the creativity of how you're going to monitor and say this guy's out or this guy can't play. Washington already said Anthony Davis out for the year.
I mean, if you can monitor in play and paying attention to when these players are getting yanked, I think you're going to probably do pretty well down the last couple of months of the season. Warren Sharp's thoughts on what took place yesterday in the big game coming up next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Warren Sharp joins the program now, and he has every single Monday at this time throughout the entire NFL season. Sad day, going to bring a tear to our eye. He's on the Progressive guest line. The breakdowns over the entire season, the last 2 weeks for the big game were awesome. Your breakdown on the cover 6, which I think started, maybe it was on this program or you maybe brought it up somewhere else on VSiN earlier. I know you were tweeting about it as well. It was such a great breakdown on how May was struggling against the cover 6 against McDermott when he went to that in Week 15 for the Bills, and then teams were copying that. What did you notice yesterday with the game plan overall from McDonald and how he was utilizing that against May early on?
Yeah, you're right. It was right here on VSiN that I first started talking about it. I recorded some other videos as well. It was funny because they definitely were asking Drake May and his quarterback coach about cover 6, and the Patriots spent a considerable amount of time preparing for the cover 6 looks of the Seattle Seahawks. And what was very interesting is the first quarter of the game, Seattle used cover 6 on 63% of Drake May's dropbacks, much higher rate than their season-to-date average, a higher rate than Sean McDermott was utilizing in the Week 15 game against the New England Patriots, where he used it on 50% of dropbacks. He limited Drake May on those passes. And Drake May, the answer, I think, from the Patriots was throw the ball underneath. 2 of the 3 completions that May had in cover 6 in that first quarter were -3 air yards or less. So they were throwing the ball like really short. But what I think makes Mike Macdonald just a brilliant defensive coach is he also weaved in a tiny bit of single high, cover 3. And he saw that Drake May was struggling against that. Now, Seattle plays cover a single high safety at the number 5 lowest rate. They predominantly play 2 high safety looks, which cover 6 is one of those coverages. And so he saw that May was, probably prepared a lot for the cover 6, and they were working on answers for that, but not really prepared for single high because Seattle never does it. So they Seattle leaned into single high and cover 3 a ton, especially second and third quarter. In the third quarter of the game, they used single high on 70% of Drake May's dropbacks, really caused some confusion for him there, and led overall to a great day. Now, all told on Drake May's stats against cover 6, -0.09 EPA per attempt, took 3 sacks, averaged very low air yards, held the ball for 2.9 seconds per dropback. So was not very good against the cover 6 looks, but was even worse against the single high that he probably hadn't been preparing for as much, something that Seattle doesn't utilize as much. So great defensive effort by the Seattle Seahawks, great coach, great execution of the plan.
Yes, well said. And I thought McDaniels did a bad job. Do you think they abandoned the run early as well, New England?
It wasn't all that successful. Maybe they could have tried to be a little bit more balanced. I just feel like I thought the Seattle Seahawks were going to be the ones that I thought both teams were going to have to abandon the run to an extent.
Okay.
I was very surprised. One of the things that I got wrong on the Super Bowl was I thought we were not going to get a lot from Kenneth Walker on the ground against the New England Patriots, number 1 ranked run defense. And what they were doing is a lot of the outside zone stuff, which we knew that they would, but I thought the Patriots would be better prepared for that. And that's where Kenneth Walker had most of his success on the ground. I definitely did think this was going to be a drop back passing game for both of these quarterbacks. And whichever one executed better in that game would probably be the team that advanced here. But, it's debatable about whether or not they did abandon it too early. The crazy part is you're watching that game. It's 9-0 at halftime. It's like, 1 score and this thing's a game. Like as dominant as Seattle has looked here, 1 score and this thing's a game.
Yeah. And by the way, what did you think on that note then? Early third quarter, Vrabel's got the ball. I think there was like 9 minutes left, top of my head. He's got the ball, 4th and 1. He's inside his own territory. But come on, you're down. Maybe it's 12-0 at that point. Decided, no, I'm not going to go for it. I got to punt the ball back to Seattle. What'd you think?
I thought he should have gone for it. I thought that what coaches do too often is they play to the scoreboard. Oh, the scoreboard says 12-0. Then if I get 2 scores, I'm leading in this game. So, but think about the way the game's actually playing out. Like the odds that Seattle's going to be able to actually move the ball on your defense were actually decent. I mean, Seattle kept settling for field goals, which we anticipated, but they were able to move the ball. Your team wasn't able to move the ball. You get 4th and 1. In a must-have-it type situation, I think you got to be aggressive as early as possible in a playoff game, especially a Super Bowl.
Well, much was made about the schedule, and I know they went against some heavy hitters and big-time linemen, but do they have a Will Campbell issue? Top 5 pick, and he got undressed again.
He definitely did. It's a weak link. It's something that they can evaluate more. I mean, there's options there. Either he gets better or they can move him to a different position, slide him somewhere else on that offensive line. So I'm not certainly the best at evaluating talent. That's not really my forte, but I do think there are still some options for him. He's young. He's going to develop and get better, hopefully. So, hopefully it's not a total of bust pick for them.
For those who can only maybe Follow the Money or some other shows during the week, they don't have a chance to catch the Sunday morning show. You also joined us at 9:30 Eastern, one of 2 hits every single week throughout the entire year. And yesterday, you're like, during the break, guys, I got a banger, need to get on this one right away. You gave it out to the audience. And it was Jason Myers' combined yards of field goals over 66.5. And your breakdown was excellent, thorough, and it came through. It was like two kicks in, bam, there you go. So that was a great start overall to the game. Overall, how was your day with all the bets that you made yourself and that you recommended?
It was a great day. My single most profitable day of the year. Hit all of my stronger bets. I have 3 of my strongest bets, including my best bet for clients. We went 3-0 on those. One of them was, what will happen first? Will the Patriots punt or score? We said punt. I could not believe the punt was plus 112. I could not still believe on Super Bowl Sunday that the punt was, I think, minus 115 or minus 120 to be the first thing that they did. And that they had 8 punts before they finally scored a point. The Kenneth Walker receiving yards, which I'll tell you this, I mean, I was talking about this for a while on the show, and we talked about it on the Sunday morning about somebody else is betting the under because this line is still there. I gave it out. We like it. A lot of people are on it, but it's still there. This played out as the worst game state for Kenneth Walker receiving, and he still won the bet for us. The worst game state, what I was fearful of, is that the Seahawks were going to be dominating and would not need to throw the football much in the second half, which is how this game played out. But it was even worse for me than that because I also thought the Seahawks would not be able to run the football very well against the Patriots' #1 ranked run defense. And as a result, I thought if they want to get Kenneth Walker involved, they're going to have to do so through the air. They were able to run the football. So they were able to run and they didn't have to pass late. And despite both of those things massively going against us, he still got there. I mean, slightly different game state. He gets there even easier, but that one won. And then that Seahawks field goal yardage, that was an example of studying the board. Like, this was Saturday night that I'm looking at every single prop betting option that is out there and seeing that the odds for Jason Myers to have over 1.5 field goals, aka will he kick 2 field goals, had risen from like minus 161 to minus 200. So A, bettors are on the over thinking he's going to kick 2 field goals. B, the odds are in favor of him kicking 2 field goals, the probability there. And thus the yardage, I went back and looked, and when he has 2 field goals, he is going 72 yards or more in 13 of the 14 games where he had 2 field goals, and he had 2 field goals in 14 of 19. So it just made perfect sense to get on that. And that was my third strongest. Overall, I was a 14-7 on the day, and it was an outstanding day. But I told you guys this right before we got on air, and I'm sure a lot of people out there who are watching at home right now felt the same way at the parties that they were at. You know, I had a bunch of people here. We had a bunch of food. And what I made sure to do before the game started, probably at 5:30 Eastern, so an hour before kickoff, I gathered whoever was interested, whoever kept asking me, what do you like about the game? I had them all get together, and I said, I'll tell you about the game later all at once. I got everybody together at 5:30, and I said, this is how I think this game's going to play out, and this is what I've bet on the game. Give them time to like copy some of that, but also give them an understanding of like what I'm rooting for. This household, this is what we're rooting for to happen. Very good. But it sort of prepared them so that when all these punts are happening early, they're high-fiving because we got over 3.5 punts for each guy for the Patriots to punt before they score. Big drive, this first drive, are they going to punt or are they going to score? We're high-fiving once they end up punting the football. So, you know, it's a bad game from an entertainment perspective, but if your bets are cashing and everybody's on the same page, you could still have a lot of fun, and we had a ton of fun with it.
That's why, to me, it's tough to actually have a boring Super Bowl. Now, we only have about a minute left, and right behind you is your preview magazine for this or book that you do every single year. So you pour your guts into the sport. Are you burned out today? Will you take a vacation before you dive in? Like, what's the game plan over the next week or a couple of weeks to a month?
I'm excited right now. I will rejuvenate, recharge. I'm probably going to be going out to the combine here in a couple of weeks, meeting up with some coaches and some other people that I know that are going to be out there. I do start writing the book not long after that. We do a lot of draft preview and prospect evaluation, not myself, but some of the other guys that are on my staff over at Sharp Football Analysis. So we get into that a little bit here, and then I do begin writing that book because we want to have that book published end of June, beginning of July. In order to do that, we have to get started pretty early. So it's fun now. It's a lot less stressful now.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And make sure you follow him on X, by the way, at Sharp Football. Man, love talking to you throughout the entire season. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Great job. And enjoy a little bit of the offseason if you can.
It's been a blast. I really enjoyed the segments with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Going to miss them.
Appreciate it. Warren was on the Progressive guest line. Turns out the Seahawks only had one real problem this year, and it didn't matter in the end. Do you concur? Is next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great moments in history have begun with a question.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And what kind of hair product does Mitch Moss use? But Follow the Money wants to know.
Do you concur? Concur with what, sir? Do you concur?
All right. When it comes to a party and ordering food, you must think outside of the box for a Super Bowl party. Do you concur?
Oh, certainly. But what's outside the box in your opinion?
Well, because I was talking to Jordan Scott yesterday, Mama's Pizza.
Uh-huh.
It's the 2 hours leading up to the Super Bowl are the busiest 2 hours of the year.
Oh, they have to be.
It's crazy. So I go, how about when, he goes, once the game kicks off, nothing. I go, not even half? He goes, no, nothing.
No, that makes sense,
People
right?
hunker down. He says it's worse if you want to order wings. He says you got to order days in advance.
Okay.
Like a Wingstop or something. Completely loaded with orders. You have to call in days ahead to get pizza or wings, or you won't get it in time for the game. You can only take so many orders for a time slot. You have to go to the next 15-minute interval. When people call in, they typically have to wait anywhere from 1 to 2 hours.
Well, it makes sense. You can only make so many pizzas at a time and then get them out of there, right?
Plus the wings, too, I know.
Yeah,
but that's, because everyone's thinking alike. We're not thinking, let's order pizza. Let's get wings for the game. Good luck. You're not going to get it.
No, right. I don't think you want to, look, I'm a big I love hot dogs, right? Give me some relish on that bad boy. Drag it through the garden, as Mike North says.
That's
right. I'm a sucker for those. You want to go to a Super Bowl party where they have nothing but hot dogs? Probably not. You got to have an offering that's going to cater to more people.
Yeah.
So I'm like a taco platter. That's great. Whatever it is, to get a little creative. I think
that's what they did.
You're going to put it that way.
Tacos.
You're going to remember that. You're like, oh man, remember that Super Bowl last year, a couple of years ago, where we went to this party and that person had this there. That was a great idea. I loved it. We got to do something along those lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a more difficult night for Drake May was robbed, MVP, than Vikings fans. Do you concur?
No.
Right, more difficult for Vikings fans?
Has to be.
Okay, fair enough.
Because that team...
May was robbed. You look terrible.
Well, May was never robbed.
I know, but for that group,
so
for those people, though, I know.
Right. Paul, you grew up a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Can we say that after winning 14 games last year, and if they didn't go to J.J. McCarthy as the guy and Darnold came back, they may have won the whole thing?
Perhaps.
Do you want to go down that road, or you just deflect it? I get it out of my brain.
He did it.
He did.
They didn't the first time ever.
They
didn't turn the ball over in the playoffs.
What were you thinking right away, though? It looked shaky.
I thought there was one coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Collins, he almost got picked right away twice.
Yep.
I thought for sure he was going to throw one.
I think it's going to be a rough week or longer for certain Vikings fans. They're not going to be able to get that out of their head.
Know. Fair enough. Yep. The AFC just wasn't up to par this year. The NFC was much better.
No.
Do you concur?
I concur. Remember we were talking, this is why I hate myself again. Remember we talked about this weeks ago. The Super Bowl look-ahead line was NFC Pick'em. And we're like, wait a second here.
You could bet NFC West to win it, too.
Yeah, sure.
Either one.
And plus money.
That's right.
But you were getting the idea of getting the Rams, the Seahawks, the Eagles, whichever team you go down the list, and you're like, they might play New England or Denver or something. Clearly, Pick'em was a bad number. And then, the AFC, how many teams, to flip it on you, out of the NFC are not okay with themselves today? Certainly the Rams. Rams are Super Bowl champs if they score late against Seattle and they get that long drive into the end zone. Does New England beat Philadelphia? Do they beat Green Bay? Do they beat Chicago? I don't know if they beat any of them. Honestly, I don't think they do.
This was close to an all-time great team if they didn't play the Rams. Do you concur?
They
went 17-3.
Yeah.
They lost by a combined 9 points. And the Rams were the only team other than Tampa was the outlier, but that was the game McDonald said we needed. It changed everything defensively.
Well, how much should we?
They gave up 14 a game to everyone else not named Los Angeles Rams.
That's right. So I think DVOA is kind of a pretty good predictive metric, right? Overall. Now, you can agree or disagree with the numbers spit out that it was the 6th best defensive DVOA performance in a Super Bowl since 1978. And per DVOA, the Seattle and the Rams are both historically great teams. Seattle finished 4th best ever by DVOA, including both the regular season and the playoffs. The only 3 teams via DVOA that were better, 91 Washington, 85 Bears, 2007 Pats.
Oh.
And the only other defensive teams that were better in the Super Bowl, the 2000 Ravens, that was incredible with Ray Lewis against the Giants, the 85 Bears, the 02, I thought the 02 Buccaneers would have been the best defensive performance ever against the Raiders. That was 3rd. 2024 Philadelphia last year. Tampa Bay Super Bowl against KC, and then Seattle in the Super Bowl, 6th best ever. Yeah, that team they're special.
Mm-hmm. There's hope for the Raiders. Do you concur?
Well, because of Kubiak?
Because of Kubiak. Crosby wants out. You get a haul for picks. What are you going to do with Mendoza? And I know I'm not a fan of this guy. He did make the playoffs late in his career. But this Carr coming out of retirement, if the situation's right, he did put up monster numbers there when Kubiak was his OC. I don't know. But I'm just thinking, because Kubiak was so good, and you see how great the offense was this year, and you won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. Good hire there. Could get a lot of picks. Do you get it right with Mendoza? Make the case, hope for Raiders. Still can't get there?
I need to see it to believe it.
Can they hit on the picks?
Is Mendoza going to be a franchise quarterback?
Think about if I trade the pick, though. What if I just moved down a couple spots to all I could get, and I trade Crosby?
No, if you told me that they were going to do that, I would say absolutely. Now there's some hope. Like, I don't know. Is Mendoza going to go here with a shaky offensive line and make it work? I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, although he does have weapons. Like, is Genty going to have the guys up front to block? Genty it was tough to watch this year. Every time he touched the ball, he's hit by 3 guys immediately.
Yeah.
But Bowers is really good. What are they going to do at wide receiver? And if you trade Crosby, I mean, he is by far and away your best defensive player in that division.
I don't know if he likes him, but I'm just throwing it out there. You trade the pick, get a Hall Crosby. Kyler Murray's your quarterback. You fix the offensive line. Get some more weapons. I mean, I'm trying to at least win 7 games.
Yeah, I'm on board.
I look like a professional outfit.
Yeah, you have me here at trading the pick.
Okay. When discussing awards and previewing and breaking down a game, schedule matters, and you have to bring it up. Do you concur?
I do concur. I do, and I want more voters to come out and say in the offseason and next year, I need to look deeper into this because of the schedule. Again, Mike Vrabel, in what should have been a hotly contested, super close race for Coach of the Year, had 80 more points than Liam Cohen? And he played absolutely the easiest schedule in football and one of the easiest in the last 30 years?
Yeah.
Yes. Ben Johnson got 1 vote. 1. Shanahan was nowhere to be found. Are you kidding me? I thought it was a terrible job in that specific market by the voters this year. Awful.
Okay.
Not saying that Johnson or Shanahan had to win. I'm actually okay with Vrabel winning the award, but basically a runaway winner? Come on. Knock it off.
So Minnesota Vikings fans feel terrible today. That's fine. Do they feel worse than Buffalo Bills or Houston Texans fans? They don't. Do you concur?
Well, no, because
the Bills turned the ball over 5 times, got whatever they wanted offensively against Denver, already beat New England on the road, and then Houston, just if they'd say, even though I didn't have Nico, if Stroud doesn't lose his mind, look what we did against May.
Because
that's tough. I'm not saying it would have beat Seattle, but it would have been a heck of a game too. I think if it was Buffalo or Houston.
I don't know if Buffalo's going to beat them because I think that the defense for Seattle will dominate. Who knows? I mean, but yeah, you're going to have regrets for sure. Also, the Broncos, if Nix doesn't get hurt, again,
that's another one.
I'm very confident the Knicks beat the Patriots. Or, again, I said flip it. Imagine if Nix isn't the guy who got hurt. Stroud was hurt. They had to go to Davis Mills. I'm pretty confident the Texans win that game. Their defense dominated, and May was terrible in that game.
I don't think Walker runs for 140 against the Denver defense either. That would have been.
I don't think he does that against Houston.
Damn right. Get ready to win a larger-than-life World Cup experience only at Circa. One lucky winner gets a 2-night stay, a VIP cabana for the games at Stadium Swim, $500 in credit, $250 in food and beverage. Arrive in style with the limo transportation. Celebrate with cocktails at Legacy Club. Enter now and kick off the World Cup at Circa. 5 weeks in June. Can't wait. Giveaway details. Visit circalasvegas.com.
I was thinking about this today. That people are going to panic now that football's over with. Here's a little glimmer of hope for everybody. Well, now we're in the second week of February, right? You take a vacation. You come back. March is here. As I've said before, March goes by in a blur. You get all the basketball. It's April before you know it. March doesn't even count. Then you get the Masters, you get the draft, and you get the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Basically, it's the middle of May before you even know it.
It's only actually 2 weeks when you think about it.
Really, when you break it down.
Yeah.
Patrick Everson next covers sports betting all around Las Vegas and beyond. I can't wait to find out how big of a swing was involved in the holding call on Kenneth Walker's would-be touchdown.